हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हम इधर उधर की बातें करते हुए थोड़ा सा कृष्ण में अगर ध्यान लगाएं तो इसलिए ये जरूरी था। तो बोलिए एक बार पुनः फिर से थोड़ा चार्ज हो जाते हैं राइट आज के इस कार्यक्रम के लिए। बोलिए हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। वसंत पंचमी की आप सभी को शुभकामनाएं और आप सभी का उपस्थित गणमान्य हमारे अतिथि और सभी भक्तगणों का आज यहाँ हार्दिक स्वागत करते हैं। सरस्वती पूजा अभी समापन हुई है और जो आज का अगला हमारा कार्यक्रम होगा वह यहाँ पर जो हमारे भक्ति वेदांत कॉलेज से जिन्होंने भक्ति शास्त्रों की है, टीचर्स ट्रेनिंग कोर्स किया है, उन्हें डिग्री प्रदान की जाएगी। और बाद में जो इस कन्वोकेशन प्रोसीडिंग्स के बाद में स्पेशल होलिस्टिक आयुर्वेदिक हीलिंग जो सेंटर यहाँ पर एक बन रहा है उस पर आपको एक प्रेजेंटेशन दिया जाएगा डॉक्टर सूरज जी के द्वारा। और हमारे वैष्णव प्रभु जो डायरेक्टर हैं भक्ति वेदांत कॉलेज के, वे आपको न्यू एकेडमिक ईयर के प्लान के बारे में बताएंगे, कॉलेज के बारे में। तो इस तरह से आज के इस कार्यक्रम का हम यहाँ पर आरंभ करते हैं। मैं अपने उपस्थित सभी अतिथियों का मैं स्टेज पर उन्हें आमंत्रित करना चाहूँगा। मैं बुलाना चाहूँगा श्री शरद कुमार सराज जी को, या कृपया मंच पर आए, और श्रीमान डॉक्टर के कोहली जी, जोरदार तालियों से आप उनका अभिनंदन करें। श्रीमान श्री मोहन जोशी जी हमारे बीच में उपस्थित हैं, हमारा बहुत बहुत सौभाग्य है आप यहाँ पर मंच पर आए। डॉक्टर महेश कुमार हरित जी, डॉक्टर सूरज जी, हमारे मंदिर के अध्यक्ष पूज्य सूरदास प्रभु जी, जिनके मार्गदर्शन में इस मंदिर का निर्माण और सारा कार्य संपन्न हो रहा है। हमारे भक्ति वेदांत कॉलेज के डायरेक्टर श्रीमान वैष्णव प्रभु, आप सब जोरदार तालियों से हम इनका हमारे श्रीमान श्री शरद कुमार सराज जी जो चेयरमैन हैं टेक्नोक्राफ्ट इंडस्ट्रीज इंडिया लिमिटेड के, बॉम्बे टेक्सटाइल रिसर्च एसोसिएशन और IIT जम्मू मेंबर बोर्ड ऑफ गवर्नर्स हैं। हमारे दूसरे जो यहाँ पर मेहमान हैं डॉक्टर महेश कुमार हरि जी जो डीन एंड प्रोफेसर हैं कॉलेज ऑफ आयुर्वेदा पाटिल यूनिवर्सिटी, और डॉक्टर सूरज जी, और आप सभी जानते हैं इस बहुत ही सुंदर कलाकार हमारे मनोज जोशी जी, बहुत ही बढ़िया जो है आपको कई सारे मिलता है और बहुत अच्छे भक्त भी हैं। तो मैं और अधिक समय न लेते हुए मैं जो है हमारे पूज्य सूरदास प्रभु जी जो टेम्पल प्रेसिडेंट और चेयरमैन ऑफ दिस कॉलेज हैं, आपसे अनुरोध करूंगा कि आप थोड़ा सा यस सो वैष्णव प्रभु will be speaking about the college. So I will invite His Grace Vaishnav Prabhuji to speak on the Bhakti Vedanta College.
हरे Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. We heartily welcome all the devotees, dignitaries, and students, teachers, everybody for this festival of First Convocation 2022. I am sure that so in the future, maybe in decades time, some noble laureates also should be present here. That's our endeavor, that we will be moving towards that extent of really being able to achieve the standards of international level. And we pray to all Vaishnavas and dignitaries, and so that we will achieve our goals, desire. So the college is working on a vision which has been set by Srila Prabhupada as the first purpose of ISKCON, to systematically propagate the spiritual knowledge to society at large and educate all people in the techniques of spiritual life, to check the imbalance of values in life, to achieve real unity and peace. This is the Srila Prabhupada has envisioned. It is real unity and peace in the world. Peace, with the lack of peace, is an indication of presence of ignorance. When ignorance is there, that will manifest, that will indicate that he is having lack of knowledge. And in any devotee's life, हम यहाँ से कहते हैं साधना और स्वाध्याय और स्वास्थ्य. These are three things. One is their spiritual practices. Number two is education, study of scriptures. Third is they should be healthy. So, and we have designed in such a way that all society, means all the sections of society, are perfectly and adequately educated in Vedic knowledge. If you see, everybody is spending at least 25 years to 30 years to attain a particular level of degree or particular job. But after 30 years of their experience, after 30 years of spending time, they have the common problems. Whether it is a doctor or scientist or engineer or producer or whoever is there, spending 25 to 30 years, but at the end they have same problems of ill health, mental stress, peer pressure, and whatnot. So it is because lack of spiritual knowledge. So a balanced person who is actually educated in Vedic knowledge, he will be physically fit, mentally balanced, intellectually sharp, and spiritually strong. These are the four things, means all the four should be properly balanced. So this college is essentially designed, planned everything towards achieving, towards imparting this particular balance of four: body, mind, intelligence, and soul. So the college has designed in such a way the programs. I would say that before going to programs,
something you can keep at the head also.
okay. Yes. Of course, the most important today's function is the felicitation of our students. Bhakti Shastri. Bhakti Shastri is such an education course started by the founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada, so that they will study the books of Srila Prabhupada. And anybody is taking the course of Bhakti Shastri and passing out, showing a great respect to the founder Acharya. So it is a responsibility of each and every ISKCON person, sensible and reasonable responsible person who is educated, he should take the Bhakti Shastri. Then thereby actually he is showing gratitude towards the. And that's why even if somebody fails, even if not able to do anything, they should endeavor, they should strive, so that they will pass through that. So this is the message we should take from Srila Prabhupada's. And the other thing is, we have not only doing the graduate process, and also we are doing teachers graduation also. So we have both Bhakti Shastri come as well as the teachers also. We will be participating on this first convocation of Bhakti College of Education 2020. With this brief, which I will be coming back to give the details of the process, and once again maybe 5 minutes, and till then be patient enough because there are many things to really do. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Vaishnav Guruji, for introducing to all our audience of Bhakti Vedanta College. Now I would like to invite Mr. Sudas Guruji, our Temple President, to speak to you, sir.
Before I start speaking, but let me welcome all the wonderful people here, and I'm really thankful to all of you who have come and graced this occasion, and especially I'm thankful to our Sharad Sarabji, Bodhiji, and especially Manojji and Haritji, and all the wonderful people who are in the front. Maheshji, Adhikariji, and so many wonderful people in the front. So I must thank, first Sharadji. Please garland him and give him Harinam Chadar. He is such a wonderful soul that he came. He is an IIT board member, and he is also the IIT chairman for Jammu. And you can see that his contributions are so much in the field of education. But when he came down to this place, he felt that he has to do something for a Vedic education. And this is Sharadji and his wife. And I would like to thank the better half, Sharadji's wife, who is always prompting Sharadji to do good work. And that way, they are equally on this journey of, serving the Lord together. And, so Sharadji is a person who contributed for Vedic Educational College almost about 1 crore of rupees. Then we have next to him is Kohli. We have been wanting to do so many things in this place. We have heard his glories. He has been part of the government of Maharashtra in really clearing a lot of Ayush things, and under his leadership, fantastic things have happened. He may not know me personally, but I know him very well. So, and Kohli is so wonderful person that only that he consented to be with us in a short notice, and I'm really indebted to him for his humility. Otherwise, I sometimes, when I see the leaders, politicians, bureaucrats, they would like to have lots of frills attached to them. But here we have only, and he is part of our family. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. And then we have, besides him, of course, he's so busy all the time in the Bollywood, but we have wanted to bring him back to this Hollywood also. That is Hollywood. And this is Manoj Joshi, who doesn't know him, and he's a fantastic actor, and he is also a great contributor to the society by presenting the teachings of Chanakya through his stage program, of which he has done almost about 300 to 400 shows in the world. He's not very humble on the stage like he is today. He is very steady, he is very target oriented. He completely articulates every shot of Chanakya in such a manner that it touches everybody's heart. And he's my old friend, and we had put his program at Bhakti Kalashetri in Hare Krishna Mandir, and he has done so many fantastic programs. And I'm thankful to him for coming and consenting to be part of this Convocation #1. And I'm really grateful to him. All the way from Nepal to this place, I'm really thankful to him. Then on the left of him is Haritji. He's a dean of the Ayurvedic Medical College. Ayurvedic Medical College, and I'm really thankful to him, though he stays in Harbour only, but he came late. Because spiritual people, somehow I have a role to play as spiritual people. If I don't correct people, there will be imbalancement in the society. So I feel that after serving the society for almost about 48 years in my life, I am in a position where I can correct my younger brother to see that spiritual life is very different from the material world. So then we have Suraj Dubey here, who is going to be the director of our Bhakti Vedanta Ayurvedic Healing Center. He also stays in Harbour. I think Krishna has chosen for this cause. He's a very humble soul. He's a life member, and he's almost like a disciple to me. And I'm really thankful to him to be taking this responsibility of doing this. This was in my dream all the time, that we should have a Bhakti Vedanta Ayurvedic Healing Center here, but somehow Krishna has arranged it in such a manner that he's there. I have a full faith in him. And then we have so many other good people coming, and I'm really feeling very, very, very honored about it. Then we have Dr. Asha Devi sitting in the front. She's our Sanskrit teacher, and she's going to teach in Bhakti Vedanta College. And we have another teacher with us, Bharti Chand. They're all graduates, PhDs, and we will engage them in the service of Prabhupada, and very, very nice. And then we have Dr. Chandan Adhikariji, our old friend, and when he was into the management school here, and he always felt that he should send the students for coaching them in the Hare Krishna land. And he sent many batches here for 7 days seminars under the same college, Bhakti Vedanta College of Vedic Education. And I'm so thankful to him. Now he has shifted the dividends. I'm sure this continues very, very nicely. I'm going to be very, very thankful to him. And then we have Dr. Raman Chaliji. Thank you very much. And thank you very much. And then we have also, also Pandeyji with us. And thank you very much, Pandeyji, for coming. You may not know ISKCON very well, but we will make you apprised about ISKCON very well. And then we have Mahesh Sharmaji, who has come all the way from Juhuski, who is our chairman of Cultural Center in Juhu. And he does a lot of God activities, and he is part of this project. He is also a donor here, and I'm really thankful to him for coming this early in the morning. And I would like to once again welcome all of you here. I wanted this mic on the stand. So, usually I'm very busy all the time, but I had to scribble something for this occasion early in the morning. So, first of all, I would like to welcome on behalf of International Society of Christian Consciousness, Harvard Temple here, and also on behalf of the International, College, Bhakti College for Vedic Education. And I just wanted to tell you, while Srila Prabhupada was conceiving the vision of the whole society, he didn't forget any section of the society, whether they are children, whether they are professors, teachers, young youths, scientists, politicians. So many things he has taught in his Shiksham. So, under his systematic teachings and the program which he has given, the 7 principles for ISKCON, obviously the first stands out very clearly, which is completely apt for our college, which Vaishnavangli has said, but still, while we were conceiving, while I was conceiving this project here, along with my spiritual master and the seniors, we had to put this college here, because when I came to this place, Harvard is known as the hub of educational institutions. And it was very much necessary for us to link these whole educational institutions with our cultural and Vedic knowledge in this center. So then I used to visit all these colleges, and I used to meet professors, Sharadji, also. As you said, right now, the teachers are not knowing what they are going to teach to the children. So when I was interacting with these old professors and so many people there, I found there is a lacuna within the teachers also, what to speak of the students. So, coming back to my Srila Prabhupada's, the foremost purpose of this one is to systematically propagate spiritual knowledge to society at large, to educate all people in the techniques of spiritual life in order to check the imbalancement in the values of life. You all agree that there's a lot of disbalance in the society nowadays. And you know how much it is, but I will show you at the end some glimpses of that. So we wanted to bring this college into the limelight, which is coming slowly, and steadily under the leadership of Vaishnavangri Prabhu, who is himself a doctorate. And he took up this responsibility. I sort of validated him to take this responsibility of the college, because while conceiving this whole project and everything, there are so many facets to this project. So I cannot take the role of a dean or a professor at this moment, because I feel the capable people should be coming on the board so that they can responsibly take care of this different facets of this project. So we felt that, everywhere this materialistic education is going on, people are interested in opening the colleges, schools, so many things. But where is the Vedic education? This is lacking. The discipline and art is lacking in all these places. And the Adhikaariji will agree with me. The present day system of education, Prabhupada used to say, I will be very vocal about it, they are just like slaughterhouses. And if these slaughterhouses are not taken properly, we will have dead animals coming out of these colleges. Now what do you mean by the dead animals coming out of that? They will have no ethics, they have no principles, they will have only one thing: how do they earn money? Which their gave to these colleges for their admission. And their motto is always to do that. How to earn money out of these things. So, I studied in English medium schools. You must have studied in English medium schools. What did they teach us? Which is nothing relevant to the present day system. There may be something, but not absolutely. So after 50 years, I feel the great issue continues in the society because parents, college teachers are not giving proper training and they lack proper knowledge. When we read the Vedic knowledge coming from Supreme Lord Krishna through Bhagavad Gita, chapter number 5, verse number 18, it is said, Vidya Vinaya Sampanne Brahmane Gaya Asmani Surichaya Sapaka Pandita Samadakshan. The humble sage, by virtue of true knowledge, see with equal vision a learned gentle Brahman, a cow, an elephant, a dog eater, equally. But this is not happening. This is coming from Bhagavad Gita. This is what Krishna wants us to do. But it's not happening in society. So, how do we present God consciousness or Krishna consciousness, to be precise, meticulously to discrediting society, divided into different religions? How do we penetrate then what is real religion? Everybody is talking about their own religion. Everybody is talking about them. And you'll be surprised. Tomorrow, my 6 brothers will say that this is a separate religion, though it's part of Sanatana Dharma. Jains are saying that I am Jain. They are part of Sanatana Dharma. But Prabhupada used to say that what is Jainism? It is Pathabrashta from Sanatana. Pathabrashta Sanatana. When the focus gets out of focus from the Supreme Lord's feet, then it's called Pathabrashta. So they are giving more focus to the austerities, removing here from their body. That's not what Krishna wants. So, like that, Muslims, they think they are the best. Christians feel they are the best. When Jesus Christ says, I am the Son of God, Muhammad says, I am the messenger, where is the problem? Its only problem is in the understanding of the proper scriptures. So, the Brahmana and the outcast may be different from the social point of view, or a dog or a cow and an elephant may be different from the point of view of species, but these differences of body are meaningless from the viewpoint of a learned transcendentalist. This is due to their relationship to the Supreme Lord for the Supreme Lord by their planetary portion as Paramatma presents in everybody's heart. This knowledge is not taught in modern schools, colleges and universities. Material knowledge keeps on man, woman in the material world. But when we study Vedic knowledge, like Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, and Chaitanya, Vedas, in association with the devotees, and properly trained teachers, then they become instrumental in teaching the transcendental knowledge to others, and they become actually instrumental in dissipating the darkness which is within the society. So, again, in the Bhagavad Gita, chapter number 5, verse number 16, it says, Jnane Ajnanam Yesham Nasitam Atmana Tesham Adityava Jnanam Prakashaya Tatparam. When however one is enlightened with the knowledge by which the science is destroyed, there his knowledge reveals everything as the sunlight. As the sunlight lifts up everything in the daytime. In the night time, you feel that everything is one. But when the sun comes, everything is perfect, everything is different. We are all different. We are all servants. It's only when the knowledge has to be impregnated in each jiva, they can understand what is the relationship with Krishna, otherwise it's not possible. They cannot. Prabhupada again repeatedly says, without a bona fide acharya who is coming in parampara, as Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, evam parampara praptam rajas. This transcendental knowledge has to be inherited from a transcendentalist. He cannot be a phony transcendentalist. He cannot be a bogie transcendentalist. In the pretext of the sacrament, in the pretext of knowledge, they cannot cheat Krishna. So therefore it's necessary for all the Indians to become well-versed with Vedic knowledge and help others to study Vedic knowledge. That's what Prabhupada always emphasized. He says, Bharat Bhumika Hola Janmajara Janam Sartaka Kari Karu Parota. Every Indian who has taken birth in India, he has got a greater role to play. That's perfect your life and perfect the lives of others. That's what is it. You can see the results of a one Indian, Srila Prabhupada. How he transformed the whole world. Without Shakti of Krishna, can anybody do that? No, it's not possible. So that's why Krishna also tells us that the Vedi Pranipatena Paraprashnena Seva Updesha Jnana Jnana Tattva. You have to inherit this transcendental knowledge from a transcendentalist. Sometimes we fail to recognize his transcendence. Sometimes we fail to understand who is the spiritualist because we say, जिसने भी गाड़ी बढ़ाया, जिसने मुंडन किया सर, वो सब साधु. No. You have to judge when they open their mouth. So this is your Bhakti Vedanta college, which pledges to dissipate the darkness in the society by sending out wonderful teachers who are here, who are getting felicitated today with Bhakti Shastra. They have been trained, they have learned in the college, and they are going to teach. We are teaching, we are studying, everything is so perfect, their ashram is perfect. They all get up early in the morning, not at 10 o'clock. They come in the temple at 4 o'clock in the morning. So this is an ashram of a student. Shivan Krishna went to his school, Sadipuri Muni's school, to learn. Even Krishna, to set that whole ball rolling, he went to Sadipuriji's ashram to learn all the 64 colors. Doesn't mean that he had to learn from Sadipuri, but he set a ball for us, rolling, that we have to approach it bona fide acharya. And these things happen under a proper systematic way in our college. I'm sure we will be able to make a little contribution to this disgruntled and darkened society which has undone us for the past many, many decades. And we pray to Prabhupada. I pray to Prabhupada. Please give me shelter. Please give me special mercy so that the vision of this whole project comes forward for the benefit of the people, and all of us serve the society in a humble manner and humble way, so that we carry the legacy of Srila Prabhupada, the founder Acharya, in such a mood that everybody will be moved towards Krishna. This is our humble prayer to all of you who are sitting across and on the dais, that this we have to carry very, very humbly. We have to love each other, and love and affection will only come when we will be foregoing our personal egos, personal, aspirations to become one above another. Prabhupada taught us very, very nicely how to become servant. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, "Tranavati sunichena taroravi saisuna amani amani kirtani sada hari." Don't expect any honor for yourself. Give honor to everybody, whoever comes, who is without Krishna consciousness, who is in a darkness situation. Give them the love, give them the knowledge, give them the prasad, give them the kirtan, give them the temple environment. They will be transformed because the transcendental knowledge is above us, transcendental kirtan is above us, and transcendental prasadam is above us. And that's what we have to do with our little life. And if we can do this with our little life, we will feel very, very encouraged, and we will feel that we are trying to do something for the pleasure of Lord Krishna. So this is what, as I said, that the government and NGOs and the social groups may be enthusiastic to open schools, colleges and so many things, but if they forget this element of Vedic knowledge, they are missing the link. They are missing it. And really, I just want to give you an anecdote. Recently, one of my Anuj, God brother, he's Anubhav Balram. These are all the facts. Because you are all the leaders, you must know that. Anubhav Balram sent his son to Orissa for getting trained to become a doctor. And after spending 1 year in the college, he came back to me, and his mother brought the son to me because I had seen him growing small, and now he's going to the college. And he was so disgusted. To be in Bhubaneswar in a medical college is that all the 99.9 students are into drugs. And this is a true story. I would have not shared this story, but I have 100% faith in our children, Krishna conscious children. And he came back to me and he said that all the students are into drugs, and I was suffocating. And it's happening. You go to the Kashmir, you go to the Delhi, you go to the Punjab, you go to all the places, all the young people. Who's going to teach them? I don't think politicians can teach them. But I have full faith in Manoj Joshi. I have full faith in Sharadji. I have full faith in Kohli. And because they are the icons of the society, and when he can move students from his act, he can also move the people by giving them good knowledge. And you all are here because I know you are chosen one. Let me tell you frankly, I have also sent an invitation to Prashant Thakur, who is a young boy in politics, but he could not make it into the galaxy of the global people. It's all not designed by me. It's all his culture. I can't do it. Okay? So I would like to really, share, as I said, that it opened my eyes. That this boy went to go because to fulfill the aspirations of the parents. When he wanted to become a doctor, he said, probably it's all suffocating. They are all in the drugs. So this is the present scenario and scenario of the so-called society, our colleges or educational institutions. So we have to pray to Lord that please give us strength so that we can open many more Bhakti Vedanta college for Vedic educations in all places where we have our teachers, our students, which they can help the society at large. And that's what this Glory of Maharashtra project, which is coming up with the efforts of great stalwarts like Sharadji and his wife. And we hold out in front of you for contributing for this good cause. It's more of an understanding. It's more of an understanding. Money everybody has, but it's the understanding by which they can contribute in the service of Krishna. Otherwise, it doesn't happen. Even if you may be a big billionaire out there, you don't have a heart to give for such good causes. So I once again thank everybody and all of you for coming and praising. It means a lot to me. It means a lot to students. It means a lot to devotees that people like you have shared time and your good, hard-earned money to this institution, for which we are grateful to you and will be indebted to you life after life. Thank you very much, and all the blessings. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Pooji, for this wonderful insights and opening our eyes as well. I would like to also welcome our guest, Sri Sanjay Golskar ji, Registrar from Punjab, and our well-wisher of the Thank you. Thanks for coming. So, I would like to invite Pooja to speak to us.
सरस्वती भगवती माता सरस्वती के चरणों में वंदन। गुरु आचार्य प्रभुपाद जी के चरणों में वंदन। सरस्वती को हरे कृष्ण हरे कृष्ण हरे कृष्ण। मैं दो ही मिनट बात करूंगा कि हमारी जो परंपरा है वसुधैव कुटुंबकम की, वो वसुधैव कुटुंबकम क्या है? जिन्होंने प्रतिपादित किया अपनी कृति से, वो आचार्य प्रभुपाद जी ने यहां से निकलकर अमेरिका, लंदन और विश्व की हर कोने और भारत में कृष्ण क्या है, सनातन धर्म क्या है और भागवत परंपरा क्या है, इसका प्रचार नहीं किया, बल्कि अगर अंग्रेजी में कहूं तो वो उनके हृदयों में पेनिट्रेट किया। हम कहते हैं, हमारे वेद कहते हैं अमृतस्य पुत्रः, हम अमृत के पुत्र हैं। अयम निजः परो वेति गणना लघुचेतसाम उदार चरितानां तु वसुधैव कुटुंबकम। ये वसुधैव कुटुंबकम क्या है, ये जताया आचार्य प्रभुपाद जी ने, और ये बताया कि ये मेरा है, ये अपना है, ये पराया है, ऐसा कुछ नहीं है। हर तरह की गणना छोटे चित्त वाले लोग करते हैं, मेरा है मेरा है, छोटे चित्त वाले, ये हमारी परंपरा है। हम छोटे चित्त वाले नहीं, हम उदार चरित्र वाले, उदार हृदय, ये सनातन धर्म है। जैसे सूरदास जी, आचार्य सूरदास जी ने कहा कि आज बहुत दुखद है कि हमारा सनातन धर्म की जो परंपरा है, जो संस्कृति है, वो कोई भी कारण हो, आक्रमण हो या जो भी कारण हो, लेकिन हमारे बच्चों तक ये पहुंचे। आज ड्रग्स की जो महामारी है वो हर मध्यम वर्ग में भी पहुंची है और उच्च मध्यम वर्ग में भी पहुंची है और अति उच्चतम वर्ग में भी पहुंची है। क्योंकि ये एक ऐसा करें तो हम उच्च भ्रू संस्कृति में रहते हैं, ऐसा मानते हैं, लेकिन सच में हमारी जो ये परंपरा है या ये जो संस्कृति है, जो भागवत परंपरा नवधा भक्ति की बात करती है, वो क्या है? वो यही है कि श्रवणम कीर्तनम से आत्मनिवेदनम लगे। ये यदि हमारे बच्चों तक पहुंचे जो हजारों साल पहले यहां जन्म लिया था। आज एक बात कहता हूं कि कैलेंडर तो 2000 साल पहले आया, लेकिन इससे पूर्व 6000 7000 साल पहले ज्योतिष शास्त्र यहां पला था, यहां जन्मा था। तिथि, वार, नक्षत्र, ये सबका ये कैसे उन्होंने मापा था? तो ये ऐसा है कि हमारे बच्चों को ही पता नहीं है कि हमारी परंपरा है। ये सबसे दुखद है। इसलिए आज जो भी यहाँ से सरस्वती के पुत्र यहाँ से निकलेंगे, ये उनकी भी ये धुरा संभालने की जिम्मेदारी हुई कि हमारा जो सनातन परंपरा है, हमारा धर्म है, वो लोगों तक पहुंचे और कृष्ण पहुंचे। क्यों? क्योंकि लोगों राम का नाम एकदम सीधा है, फिर एक गाना, फिर माँ। एक ही मिनट लूंगा रघुदास जी से, फिर कृष्ण, तो गुरु, ऐसा ऐसा हो वो सीधा नहीं। क्यों सीधा नहीं है? तो धर्ममय नीति और नीतिमय धर्म, ये जगत को बताने वाला वो कृष्ण है और सबको इकट्ठा करता है, सबको एकत्रित करता है। ये कृष्ण है, तो ये कृष्ण पहुंचाने की जिम्मेदारी हम सबकी है, आपकी तो है ही, लेकिन ये बड़ा चिंता का विषय है कि कैसे हम लोगों को जोड़े। और जो हमारी परंपरा है कि जो जिसको स्पिरिचुअल कहते हैं, आज स्पिरिचुअल वर्ड का एक अलग भी मीनिंग है। आज तो अभी वो किराना माल की दुकान में भी वाइन मिलने वाली है, दुखद है बट अभी है। व्यसन मुक्ति केंद्र भी हम बनाते हैं और ये है, ठीक है, मुझे कोई टीका करने का, मैं कोई पॉलिटिशियन नहीं हूँ, बट ये भी एक दुखद है विषय। तो हमारी ये जिम्मेदारी है कि हमारा बच्चा ये जाने, एटलीस्ट वहां तक पहुंचे, ये हमारी जिम्मेदारी होनी चाहिए। और सभी को, सभी आज जो शिक्षित हुए हैं, जिन्होंने शास्त्री या जो भी उपाधि या जो भी परीक्षा में उत्तीर्ण हुए हैं, वो सभी को बहुत बहुत अभिनंदन और सभी को हरे कृष्ण और सभी को बहुत सारी शुभकामनाएं। यहाँ मैं मेरा वाणी को विराम देता हूँ। नमस्कार। आज वसंत पंचमी है, आज के शुभ अवसर पर आपको ये सारे बातें प्रदान होने वाली हैं, तो आपको सभी को बहुत सारी शुभकामनाएं।
बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद मनोज जी आपका। मैं अनुरोध करूँगा डॉक्टर महेश कुमार जी से कि दो शब्द।
Before Hariji speaks, I would like to also tell about Manoj ji. Recently, he was instrumental in dissipating the Article 370, which was there on J&K. He became one of the Kashmiris, which I could not do myself, though coming from Kashmir, but he, from a Gujarat Prat, he acted like a Kashmiri and he talked about Article 370 and it was so wonderful. Thank you very much. Yes. So fantastic. He also looks like a Kashmiri, isn't it?
महेश कुमार
Dignitaries of the dais, सबसे पहले तो पूजा जी सबको नमस्कार। और मैं प्रभु जी को धन्यवाद देता हूँ, उन्होंने इस कार्यक्रम को पार्टिसिपेट होने के लिए मेरे को मौका दिया, चांस दिया, उसके लिए बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। अभी गुरु के सभी वक्ताओं ने एक काम अच्छा किया कि उन्होंने समाज में जो प्रॉब्लम्स है उसको आइडेंटिफाई किया है। तो हर एक चीज़ का एक प्रोसेस होता है। अगर मैं रिसर्च पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से या टीचर से पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से बात करूँ, तो फर्स्ट थिंग्स वी हैव टू आइडेंटिफाई द प्रॉब्लम्स। तो ये काम अच्छा हो रहा है कि आज की तारीख में, आज के इस युग में हम लोगों ने समाज की प्रॉब्लम्स को आइडेंटिफाई कर लिया है। अभी हम इसके दूसरे प्रोसेस में जा सकते हैं, उस प्रॉब्लम्स को रेक्टिफाई कैसे करें, उस प्रॉब्लम्स को ठीक कैसे करें। तो ठीक करने का सबसे उपयुक्त मार्ग जो है वो ये है, जो आज कॉन्वोकेशंस में जो टीचर, जो छात्रों को डिग्री मिलने वाली, इन लोगों की सबकी जवाबदारी है कि वो सनातन धर्म का प्रचार करें, अच्छे सामाजिक स्वरूप की रचना करें और फैमिलीज के साथ बात करें, उनसे उनको प्रेरित करें कि कैसे हम लोग इस सोने को छोड़ के हम लोग पत्थर की तरफ भाग रहे हैं, हम लोग कैसे उनको रोक सकें और एक सही मार्ग दे सकें। हम लोग जबरदस्ती नहीं कर सकते। सबसे अच्छा वे है कि हम लोग
अच्छाई बुराई किस चीज़ की है, उसका मीनिंग, उसका अंतर हमको समझाने में सफल हो। और ये बहुत जल्दी होने वाला है, वेरी मच पॉजिटिव हो, क्योंकि प्रभुपाद जी जैसे या प्रभु जी जैसे बहुत सारे संत महात्मा इस कार्य में लगे हुए हैं, और हम जैसे छोटे मोटे हाथ उठाने वाले उनके साथ में हैं। तो जैसे भी जो कुछ भी होगा हमें इस दिशा में आगे बढ़ना चाहिए, और इसमें जो कुछ भी हम लोग कर सकते हैं उसमें हमें करना चाहिए, क्योंकि अभी हम सब की जवाबदारी है। हम लोग दोष किसी को दे सकते हैं, हम लोग मोबाइल को दोष दे सकते हैं, हम लोग टीवी को दोष दे सकते हैं, हम लोग बहुत सारी चीज़ों को दोष दे सकते हैं, लेकिन दोष ठीक है, अभी करेक्शंस को स्टार्ट करना है। तो वो प्रोसेस स्टार्ट करने की जवाबदारी पूरे रूम में जितने भी लोग बैठे हैं सबकी है, और हमको आज से ही इस प्रोसेस को स्टार्ट करने के लिए अपने आप को प्रतिबद्ध करना है, उस दिशा में अपने आप को कार्य करना है। तो बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद आप सबको।
I'm thankful to Bharatji for he has accepted to be on the advisory board of our Bhakti Vedanta. I'm really grateful to you for that, for giving us your consent. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Reggie. I would like to invite Professor K. Kohli to speak few words. Dr. Kohli is he was served as a director of Ayush for Maharashtra State, and he was also a dean of Ayurveda Medical College, and also he has lot of awards to his Pranacharya, excellent researcher in Ayurveda, and Maharshi Arnasar, and so many things. I want to take more time.
In fact, he has revolutionized the Ayurveda in India, and especially in Maharashtra under his leadership. I'm really thankful that he consented to be with us today, and his work is so excellent, is so wonderful. निस्वार्थ सेवा के अंतर्गत उन्होंने जो कुछ भी महाराष्ट्र में किया या भारत में किया या मिनिस्ट्री में रह के किया है, उसके लिए मैं पर्सनली तहे दिल से मैं आपका आभार करता
हूँ। आपका प्रबोधन सुना मैंने, मुझे तो बहुत तारीफ हुआ। आदरणीय शरद जी हमारे बड़े भाई, जोशी जी, शरद जी हमारे छोटे भाई, सूरज जी हमारे पुत्रवत, हमारे विद्यार्थी भी हैं। First of all, it gave me a lot of happiness by being here. I mean that itself, what gives you happiness is something that you must do. So it gave me happiness while entering into this campus. The second point of happiness was the Sarswati Vedanta. It was amazing. It was amazing. Thank you very much. Thirdly, from the lectures, from your words, from Honorable Guruji's words, the Guruji of the college, that Krishna consciousness is also now going towards health. Health is an essential component. This I do not know. That it comprises the world of Krishna consciousness as well. Because we thought it is only about consciousness and not about health. So there was a disconnect. Let me be very frank. Although I got my son married in ISKCON Temple, Jogo, my son's marriage was there. We believe so much. But as doctors, as Ayurveda doctors, I think we have remained away from it. This is the time, Harinji, we need to connect with them, and very rightly so. You have taken Harinji to the advisory board. I must congratulate you for that. Because Ayurveda gets represented in delivering the healthcare through our consciousness. Let me confess that it was Article 370 which was being taught. Honorable Guruji said that he is a Kashmiri. Manoj Joshi ji said he acted as a Kashmiri. We have Sharad ji, who is the chief of IIT Jammu. And let me also tell you that I belong to Jammu. So there are so many connects to 370 here today. And we are all grateful to our revered Prime Minister Modi ji that he I mean, I know very little about, I only believe that I must not not do something that is bad, somebody behaves with me in a different fashion, and if I feel bad, I must not repeat that on others. So I must behave the way I expect others to behave with me. That is what I have always believed. And as for Krishna consciousness, let me tell you, I have been quite away from it. Although we belong to Sanatana Dharma, my father was a very strong follower. He was a primary school teacher in Jammu. He was a very strong follower of Sanatana Dharma. But we went to different colleges. I have been studied in sailing school to become an Air Force pilot, but ultimately became an Ayurveda doctor. But then I took Ayurveda to that flight, which could take Ayurveda to the horizon. And the kind of words you spoke about me, Guruji, I am really grateful to you, and I shall always be connected with you. I have taken a pledge that I am with you for life. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Kolliji.
Kolliji, you'll be very surprised to know this. Srila Prabhupada always emphasized this point in his disciples, that health is first, then is your seva, then is your swadhyaya. And if you all do this three S's perfectly, you will be able to serve the divine very nicely in this lifetime. And you'll be very surprised while conceiving all these things. Of course, college is one part, then we have Bhakti Vedanta Healing Center. Before starting it, because I traveled all over the world and traveled all over India, from corner to corner, and picked up with fantastic people. There is Dr. Joshi from Devon. He's also going to be part of this, he's going to be advisor. There is also from Kerala, Dr. Moose. He's also my very good friend of mine. And they said that you are doing Swami so much, why don't we come and you appreciate Suraj? It is practically Krishna chosen, because we always try to see that how can we keep commercial people away from our eyes, but how to integrate spiritual people. And your student, your Suraj is really Suraj. We compliment Kolliji for that, because he's going to make a landmark in the whole world. And let me tell you, thank you. Thank you for giving us a wonderful student who is already known worldwide, but we want to engage him in the service of Krishna. Thank you.
Thank you, Guruji. I would like to invite our Chief Guest, Sarswati, to speak a few words. He is the chairman of Technocraft Industries India and also a Bombay Textile Research Association, IIT Jammu, and member board of governors. So IIT India. So thank you, Guruji. Thanks for coming here and honoring this graceful occasion and blessing all of us, all the new Bhakti Shastri students. I would like to please speak a few words.
धन्यवाद सर। आज मैं इतने बड़े बड़े महानुभावों के बीच में बैठा हूँ और मैं बहुत प्रेरणा का अनुभव कर रहा हूँ कि जिन लोगों ने मेरे पहले जो शब्द कहे हैं वो वाकई में वर्ड्स ऑफ विजडम है। और पर्टिकुलरली प्रभु स्वारदास जी, इन्होंने एक मंदिर नहीं लेकिन एक इंस्टीट्यूशन खड़ी की। मैं किसी को भी बोलता हूँ कि मैं खारगर इस्कॉन में जा रहा हूँ तो मैं ये नहीं कहता कि मैं इस्कॉन मंदिर में जा रहा हूँ। मेरे हिसाब से ये बहुत ही ज़रूरी आवश्यक इंस्टीट्यूशन है। यहाँ पर मंदिर एक सेंटर है, लेकिन उसके आसपास इतनी सारी अलग अलग इंस्टीट्यूशंस प्रभु जी ने स्थापित की है। ये एक बहुत अद्भुत अचीवमेंट है अपने देश में, पूरे देश में। क्योंकि जैसे ये घूमे हुए हैं देश विदेश में, मैं भी अच्छे से घूमा हूँ और मैं जहाँ भी जाता हूँ वहाँ हमारे बड़े हिंदू मंदिरों में जाता भी हूँ और पूरा प्रयास करता हूँ कि मैं उनको बराबर से देखूँ, स्टडी करूँ। प्रभु जी ने दो बहुत अहम लड़ियाँ जोड़ी हैं जो अभी तक हम उन्हें मिस करते आ रहे थे। एक तो इन्होंने सही कहा कि हमारी स्कूल कॉलेजेस में जो पढ़ाते हैं, और मैं एजुकेशन से बहुत कनेक्टेड हूँ, IIT बॉम्बे, IIT जम्मू दोनों से जुड़ा हुआ हूँ, बहुत क्लोजली देख रहा हूँ, तो मैं देख रहा हूँ कि वो हमारे जितने भी जो ब्राइट स्टूडेंट्स हैं, जैसे कि हम कहते हैं कि भाई ये IIT का स्टूडेंट है, गर्व से वो कहते हैं कि भाई हम IIT के एलुमनाई हैं, लेकिन अगर उनको थोड़ा सा भी ऊपर की सतह के नीचे जाएंगे तो वो फॉलो रहते हैं। क्योंकि इन संस्थाओं में भी हमें कोई भी आध्यात्मिक बात नहीं बताई जाती, नहीं सिखाई जाती, क्योंकि ये कलंक बोल दीजिए या एक मान्यता बोल दीजिए कि वेद है, गीता है, वो कोई धर्म है। ये धर्म नहीं है, ये एक जीने की पद्धति है। अगर ये जीने की पद्धति है तो हमारे जितने भी शिक्षक और छात्र हैं उनको इसका कम से कम एक, इसको कहते हैं न्यूनतम ज्ञान तो करवाना ही चाहिए। और मैं सोचता हूँ कि आगे जाकर गवर्नमेंट जरूर ये सोचेगी कि इसको कैसे अमल में लाया जाए। अभी मैं डॉक्टर कोहली से बात कर रहा था कि कम से कम IIT जम्मू में तो हम इसका काम चालू कर सकते हैं। तो ईश्वर की दया से मेरे हाथ में है और मैं उसको वहाँ अगर एक उदाहरण के रूप में करूँगा तो बाकी IIT में भी उसका प्रचार होगा। तो वहीं से चुनाव करने जरूरी है। दूसरी कड़ी जो प्रभु जी ने यहाँ जोड़ी है वो है होलिस्टिक लाइफस्टाइल, वेलनेस, जो डॉक्टर सूरज दुबे जी के नेतृत्व में और डॉक्टर कोहली के मार्गदर्शन में उसका विकास होगा। आप सभी ने देखा होगा कि वो नीचे उसका कंस्ट्रक्शन चालू है, बन रही है वो, और अभी थोड़ी देर में डॉक्टर दुबे उसके बारे में ज़्यादा जानकारी देंगे। लेकिन ये दो चीज़ें, एक बहुत ही अद्भुत है जो कहीं कोई मंदिरों में होती नहीं है और ये सबसे पहली बार हो रही है। मैं डॉक्टर कोहली को बता रहा था कि कुछ ही समय में ये इस्कॉन खारगर जो है वो एक बहुत बड़ा टूरिस्ट डेस्टिनेशन भी बन जाएगा। इतना भव्य बन रहा है और प्रभु जी का जो विजन है वो कोई भी इंडस्ट्रियलिस्ट से या कोई भी बड़े नेता से कम नहीं है। मैं इनके साथ 2-3 बार पूरे इंस्टीट्यूट का भ्रमण कर चुका हूँ और मैंने देखा किस डेडिकेशन से, पैशन से ये बनवा रहे हैं। मैंने इनको खुद अपने हाथों से कचरा उठाते हुए देखा, कहीं टूटी रह गई है तो वो उन्होंने तुरंत नोट की। यानी ये इतने बारीकी से देख रहे हैं इसको जैसे कोई माँ अपने बच्चे को देखती है। अब हम इस इंस्टीट्यूट के आखिरी चरण में हैं एक दो चीज़ें बननी बाकी है। मेरा पूरा सहयोग रहेगा। प्रभु जी आप आगे बढ़े, हम सभी आपके साथ हैं। और देने वाला कौन है? देने वाला तो जो ऊपर से आता है, देता है, हम तो केवल एक माध्यम है। तो इनका गवाह भी आप लोगों को सबको मालूम होगा कि देनहार कोई और है, लोग भ्रम मुझ पर करे तो बात वही है। और इन्हीं शब्दों के साथ मैं छात्रों को बधाई देना चाहता हूँ। उन्होंने ये फर्स्ट दीक्षांत समारोह में आए हैं, पार्टिसिपेट किया है। ये बहुत ही एक इसको पाथ ब्रेकिंग कहते हैं, पाथ ब्रेकिंग इवेंट है। इससे हमारे कॉन्वोकेशन की दीक्षांत समारोह की एक ट्रेडिशन चालू हो जाएगी। गए साल सर हमने जम्मू आईआईटी का भी पहला कॉन्वोकेशन किया और उसमें भी हमने प्रोसीजर उसका जो इवेंट का था वो इसी हिसाब से बनाया कि आगे फिर सालों सालों तक वो चलता रहे और वो ट्रेडिशन बन जाए। तो मेरी खूब खूब बधाई, बहुत शुभकामनाएं। और एक एडवाइस बोल दीजिए इसको, या मेरी गुजारिश बोल दीजिए। मैं चाहूँगा कि जितने भी छात्र आज यहाँ से जा रहे हैं वो इस नॉलेज को, वो जो यहाँ से लेके जा रहे हैं उसको आगे बढ़ाएं। अगर एक छात्र 5-6 बच्चों को भी अपना थोड़ा सा ज्ञान जो यहाँ सीखा है, जो यहाँ से लेके जा रहे हैं, वो उनके साथ अगर शेयर करे तो इससे एक से एक आगे जुड़ते जाएंगे। तभी जाकर आपका यहाँ आने का मतलब सार्थक होगा। मैं इसी दो शब्दों के साथ आप लोगों का आभार व्यक्त करता हूँ। आपने पेशेंट के लिए सुना।
बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद शरद जी। बड़ी ही सरलता और विनम्रता से आपने जो हम लोगों को प्रोत्साहित किया है, प्रेरणा दी है, उसके लिए बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। और मैं बताना चाहूँगा कि शरद जी सिर्फ प्रेरणा और प्रोत्साहन ही नहीं देते हैं, बल्कि तन मन और धन से पूरी तरह से इस काम के साथ जुड़े हुए हैं। बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद।
Just to apprise my dear Sharad ji for his, little update, that all those teachers, when you see them on the left side, they are already becoming small gurus. People treat me as a worker here, but the devotees treat them as gurus. That means they have at least 20-25 children already around them, and they are coaching them. And with the result, this is a very wonderful thing to see them, how they are cultivating people, and whether they are Mataji's or Prabhuji's or anybody, they are all there. They have so many people. There is every cell. If you see one teacher, there is almost a cell of 25 people with them, and they are already on to the job. And I am sure that when our Suraj will take over, he will have so many students here, because he will be touching the pulse of the patient. He will be transforming them into Krishna consciousness.
थैंक यू प्रभु जी। तो आज हम अपना इस कार्यक्रम को आगे बढ़ाते हुए आज जो कन्वोकेशन की प्रोसीडिंग्स है से करेंगे। उसके पहले हमारे बीच में डॉक्टर आशा द्विवेदी जी हैं, और जिन्होंने अभी अपना एक शोध कार्य इन्होंने पूर्ण किया है। आप MA इन संस्कृत, इंग्लिश एंड हिंदी हैं, और इन्होंने अभी संस्कृत में PhD किया है। और ये जो शोध कार्य है इनका वैदिक ज्ञान और हरे कृष्ण साहित्य, एक तुलनात्मक अध्ययन इन्होंने जो है किया है। इस रिसर्च पे इन्हें अभी PhD मिली है।
तो उसके लिए मैं बड़ा दफा माता जी को और माता जी को बुलाना चाहूँगा स्टेज पे कि आप इन्हें जो है आशीर्वाद प्रदान करें।
Just to apprise you about Dr. Dwivedi, she is a diehard fan of Prabhupada, and I am missing the husband of Dr. Dwivedi, who was also connected with this movement. His son is also already a disciple, and she has pledged now to teach Sanskrit in our college, and I will be the first student of her to learn this Sanskrit. Hare Krishna.
जोरदार तालियों से कहना चाहेंगे अपने शोध कार्य के ऊपर।
हरे कृष्णा। सर्वेभ्यो नमो नमः। सर्वेभ्यो वसंत पंचम्याः शुभाशय। अद्य वयं सर्वे अत्र मदन मोहन मंदिर स्थित सभागारगृहे दीक्षांत समारोहे समुपस्थिताः स्मः। अस्माकं मध्ये अस्माकं मंदिरस्य गुरुवर्याणाम् अध्यक्षमहोदयानां सुहृदास महोदयानां मुख्य अतिथिनां सर्वेषां सज्जनानां मुख्य अतिथिनाम् अहं हार्दं आशादेवी हार्दं स्वागतं धन्यवादं च करोमि। मन्दिरः न केवलं भक्तयाः स्थलम् अस्ति, अपि तु ज्ञानस्य प्रक्षयस्थलम् अपि अस्ति। अत्र वयं महाप्रभु चैतन्य प्रदत्त शिक्षायाः भक्तयाः ज्ञानस्य समन्वयः अस्माकं जीवनेषु समुचितं सुन्दरं पाठं पाठयति च। आगच्छन्तु वयं सर्वे अद्य शुभावसरे समुचितं प्रयत्नं कुर्मः यत् अस्माकं जीवनः सरस्वत्याः अनुग्रहेण भक्तिमार्गं सा अस्माकं प्रेरयत्। धन्यवादः। सभी को मेरा नमस्कार। यहाँ उपस्थित जितने भी मान्यवर जन हैं और भक्तगण हैं, सभी को हृदय से मैं नमस्कार करती हूँ। और जो भी हमारी बहुत सारी योजनाओं के अंतर्गत हमने एक उसमें संस्कृत सिखाने का भी प्रावधान रखा है। मेरा जो रिसर्च का विषय रहा है पीएचडी गत वर्ष जून में कंप्लीट हुई थी। विषय मैंने चुना था जैसे कि बताया गया थी अध्ययन और हरे कृष्ण साहित्य। हालांकि हरे कृष्ण भक्ति आंदोलन था, लेकिन कुछ कमेटी के द्वारा डीआरसी के द्वारा उन्होंने कहा कि संस्कृत से रिलेटेड नहीं लगेगा, आंदोलन शब्द को चेंज कर दिया गया। लेकिन उन्होंने कहा आपको जो लिखना है उसके अंदर वही लिखिए, लेकिन इस शब्द को चेंज कर दीजिए। तो आंदोलन की जगह हरे कृष्ण साहित्य हो गया, जिसके लिए मुझे पूरे गौड़ीय संप्रदाय की बहुत सारी किताबों का अध्ययन करना पड़ा। और क्योंकि प्रभुपाद जी की तकरीबन मैंने सारी किताबों का बड़ी गहनता से अध्ययन किया, बहुत आनंद आया और ये पाया कि वैदिक ज्ञान को बड़ी सहजता से, बड़ी सरलता से उन्होंने आप सभी लोगों तक पहुँचाया। और क्यों ना मैं उसको ही अपने शोध का विषय बनाऊँ, और इसलिए मैंने उसमें किया। और अब जैसा कि प्रभु जी के द्वारा मुझे बड़ा ही स्वर्णिम अवसर दिया गया है कि आप आएँ और संस्कृत पढ़ाएं, तो मैं ये बताना चाहूँगी ये मेरा एक बहुत बड़ा सौभाग्य है। बहुत कुछ वर्षों पहले मैं एक अमेरिका से, कैलिफोर्निया से एक व्यक्ति आए थे, डॉक्टर कैन, तो वो कह रहे थे संस्कृत इज ए डेड लैंग्वेज। मेरा उसके इस बात के ऊपर उनका बहुत विवाद हुआ। how you can say it is a dead language. तो ये बात को ध्यान में रखते हुए मुझे लगता है कि प्रभु जी के द्वारा मुझे ये अवसर दिया गया है कि ये विद्यालय का प्रांगण जो है वे भक्ति वेदांत कॉलेज का जो प्रांगण है, ये प्रांगण हम सभी लोगों को संस्कृत में, मैं यहाँ पर आप लोगों को संस्कृत की देने के लिए, तो हम ऐसा वातावरण बनाएंगे जिसमें दिव्य और एक अलौकिक, क्योंकि संस्कृत दीवान भारती, देव भारती और ईश्वर की प्रथम बोली जाने वाली प्रथम भाषा है, जिसके अंतर्गत ही हमारे सारे वेद शास्त्र निहित हैं। जैसे कि आप लोगों ने माना, पढ़ते हैं आप यहाँ पर गीता और उसका ट्रांसलेशन पढ़ते हैं, लेकिन आप सोचिए कि जिस दिन आप संस्कृत तो संस्कृत पढ़ने लगेंगे तो कितना आनंद आएगा ना। तो हम सभी उसके लिए प्रयासरत रहेंगे, मेरी पूरी सेवाएं उसके लिए उपलब्ध है जब तक कि प्रभु जी जिस तरीके का हम पाठ्यक्रम बना करके, और आप लोगों को भी मैं ये कहना चाहती हूँ, ये मेरे आग्रह है आप लोगों से कि जितना अधिक से अधिक हो सकता है संस्कृत सीखिए, संस्कृत के द्वारा आगे बढ़े। संस्कारवान करोति संस्कृत, संस्कृत वही है जो हमें संस्कार जो समम करोति, जो हमें हर तरीके से समान करना सिखाए। तो वेद शास्त्रों का अध्ययन हमारे लिए सहज हो जाएगा। कितना अच्छा लगेगा जब माता जी कहेंगी एही वत्स बेटा आओ अद्य गीतायाः कक्षा, आज गीता की कक्षा 10:15 अस्ति, 10 बजे। कितना आसान है ना, 10:15 वही है। तो हम इस तरीके की छोटे छोटे उससे हमारी ये योजना है, जैसा कि प्रभु जी के साथ हमारी चर्चा हो चुकी है, हम छोटे छोटे ग्रुप बना करके आपस में संस्कृत में वार्तालाप करेंगे। और ये वार्तालाप धीरे धीरे पूरे इसमें प्रांगण में, फिर खारघर में, फिर कुछ वर्षों में पूरे नवी मुंबई में, और तत्पश्चात ये इच्छा भी है हमारी और प्रभु जी की सबकी कि ये एकमात्र ऐसा मंदिर बने जो पूरी तरीके से संस्कृत में वार्तालाप यहाँ पर हो। धन्यवाद देती हूँ कि आपने मुझे इस तरीके का मौका देकर के चयनित किया, फिर से धन्यवाद। और मुझे बहुत अच्छा लगा कि जो मुख्य अतिथि लोग आए हैं उन्होंने कुछ सुभाषित का प्रयोग किया, जैसे जोशी जी ने कहा था, है ना, कि अयम निजः अयम परो वेत्ति गणना लघु चेतसाम। ये तो छोटे लोगों की बात है, और प्रभु जी ने एक और वसुदेव को उसी से रिलेटेड है। तो ये सारी चीजें आप जान सकेंगे जब यहाँ पर आकर कहेंगे वो सारी चीजें, क्योंकि अपूर्व कोशो अयम विद्यते तब भारती, हे सरस्वती माता तुम्हारा ये कोश जो है खजाना अपूर्व है। क्यों अपूर्व है? वो क्या होता है? वर्धते व्यय, जब आप उसको व्यय करते हैं तो बढ़ता है। जैसे प्रभु जी ने इतने सारे लोग अभी विद्यार्थी यहाँ पर है और संचय करने पर ये खत्म हो जाता है। तो उसी इन सारी चीज़ों को लेकर के फिर से पुनः सारे विद्यार्थियों का, प्रभु जी का, और यहाँ जितने भी भक्त वृंद बैठे हैं सभी को बसंत पंचमी की शुभकामनाओं के साथ साथ धन्यवाद।
बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद आशा माता जी। कहते हैं कि एक भंडार ऐसा है कि जिसमें से आप जितना खर्चा करो, खर्चा करते जाओ लेकिन वो कभी खत्म नहीं होता। और एक बैलेंस ऐसा है जिसमें से खर्चा करो तो रोज खत्म होते जाता है। कौन सा? एक बैंक बैलेंस है। हर कोई अपना बैंक बैलेंस बढ़ाना चाहता है कि नहीं? कोई नहीं चाहता बैंक बैलेंस बढ़ाना। जो बढ़ाना नहीं चाहते वो यहाँ पे डोनेट कर दे, मंदिर को बहुत जरूरत है। हर कोई अपना बैंक बैलेंस बढ़ाना चाहता है, लेकिन वो कभी भी बढ़ता नहीं है, खत्म होते जाता है। लेकिन एक जो ज्ञान का भंडार है, ये ज्ञान का भंडार ऐसा है कि आप जितना खर्चा करेंगे उतना ही बढ़ेगा, जितना खर्चा करेंगे उतना ही बढ़ेगा। तो आज इस सरस्वती पूजा के अवसर पर हमें ये जो ज्ञान का भंडार मिल रहा है, जो खजाना मिल रहा है, इस धरोहर को हम अपने साथ में रखें, अपने साथ में लेकर जाएं और इसे और अधिक से अधिक खर्च करें। आज के जो विद्यार्थी जो यहाँ पे ग्रेजुएट हुए हैं, जितना अधिक आप इसे खर्च करेंगे उतनी ही अधिक इसमें आपकी बढ़ोतरी होगी, क्योंकि उतना अधिक आप और अध्ययन करेंगे, फिर लोगों को बांटेंगे। और जैसे चंद्र प्रभु ने कहा कि अगर आप 5 लोगों को भी अगर आप नेक्स्ट बैच के लिए तैयार करते हैं और उन्हें भक्ति शास्त्री बना देते हैं तो दे ऑल्सो बिकम एलिजिबल कि जो नेक्स्ट बैच को और प्रोत्साहित करें। तो आइए हम आज के इस कन्वोकेशन प्रोसीडिंग्स में आगे बढ़ते हैं। आज जो हमारे विद्यार्थी भक्ति वेदांत एकेडमी से जो भक्ति शास्त्री की डिग्री प्राप्त किए हैं उन्हें मैं बुलाना चाहूँगा और उससे पहले मैं अनुरोध करूँगा श्रीमान शरद जी से और डॉक्टर कोहली जी से कि आप कृपया आगे आ जाए ताकि इन विद्यार्थियों को सर्टिफिकेट्स प्रदान कर सके। तो मैं भक्ति शास्त्री के इस प्रथम बैच जो फर्स्ट बैच है भक्ति वेदांत कॉलेज ऑफ वैदिक एजुकेशन नवी मुंबई के द्वारा उन्हें बुलाना चाहूँगा। श्री अभिनव शांता दास। नेक्स्ट है अल्लादीनी शक्ति देवी दासी।
सभी थोड़ा सा हाथ को गरमाइए।
अल्लादीनी शक्ति देवी दासी। नेक्स्ट है गति प्रिया देवी।
प्रभु जी
डॉक्टर they become Shastris. They can read and preach the Shastras. Next is Ramya Sudaras. Next is Sarthi Vasudev Das. Sarthi Vasudev Das. Next is Sri Ram Sakhadas. Bhakti Shastri Sri Ram Sakhadas. Next is Tarun Priya Devi Dasi. Next is Tejas Abhasaya Khande. Thank you. हम ये सभी भक्ति शास्त्री स्टूडेंट्स को बहुत धन्यवाद देते हैं, अभिनंदन करते हैं कि आज से आप जो है शास्त्री जी कहलाए और शास्त्री जी कहलाने का मतलब यह है कि अब आपको शास्त्र को जो है लोगों तक ले जाना है। राइट? सही दो जोरदार तालियों से इसका थैंक यू सर। मैं I would like to invite Manoj Joshi ji and Hare ji, please come for the next round. Next we are having is the teachers training course. जिन्होंने आपने तो भक्ति शास्त्री स्टूडेंट्स को देखा, अब इन्हीं में से कई लोगों ने और जिन्होंने टीचर्स ट्रेनिंग कोर्स कंप्लीट किया है, जो ऐसे भक्ति शास्त्री और दूसरे जो शास्त्री कोर्सेस हैं उन्हें पढ़ाने के लिए इस भक्ति वेदांत कॉलेज में इनकी जो है आप मदद करेंगे। तो मैं बुलाना चाहूँगा स्टेज पे अभिनव शांतादास, अजय लीलाधर दास, yes, Ajay लीलाधर दास, teachers training course 1 and 2. This is the first batch of Bhakti Vedanta College of Vedic Education in English. Next we are having Aladini Shakti Devi Dasi for teachers training course 1 and 2. Aladini Shakti Devi Dasi. Next is Jagjeev Devi Dasi. Sarthi Vasudev Das.
There was some specialization which Dr. Mishra did. I don't have so much time, so otherwise I would have put it on the front to tell you what happens in such even bigger institutions, how people get slaughtered.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Sarthi Vasudev Das. Sarthi Vasudev Das. Sridham Sakha Das. Sridham Sakha Das for teachers to course 1 and 2. Shuddha Bhakta Das. Next is Shuddha Bhakta Das. Once again, congratulations to all the teachers who have completed the teachers training course 1 and 2 at Bhakti Vedanta College of Vedic Education. And thanks to our guests and attendees, Ramesh Kumar Hariji and Manoj Kumar Joshi. Thank you very much. Thanks for blessing this opportunity. Now I would like to invite Dr. Suraj Dubeji to give his presentation on holistic Ayurvedic healing. Suraj Dubeji हमें आयुर्वेदिक हीलिंग्स के बारे में प्रेजेंटेशन है, बस कुछ ही समय में। Because we have just one screen, so may I request our guests to take the seat here on the sofa so they can also see the screen. Screen is visible from one side, so that's why I'm requesting. Please, my request, humble request to sit on this sofa at your front, so you can also see the presentation.
While we are trying to occupy our chairs, I would like to request Janki Devi Dasi to speak for 2 minutes. We have passed out student. Okay? She is a doctor, Janki Devi Dasi. She has been a doctor, felicitated doctor now.
आप सभी को प्रेजेंट करने की हार्दिक शुभकामनाएं। First of all, I want to pay my sincere gratitude to Suraj Prabhuji, Vaishnavi Prabhuji, and all the senior Vaishnavas and all the present members here. ये जो आज हमें अचीवमेंट मिला है, this is all efforts of Suraj Prabhuji. सूरज प्रभुजी का शुरू से ही इच्छा थी कि यहाँ पर कॉलेज आए, और कॉलेज में तो हमेशा मुझे यही कहते थे कि यहाँ पर कॉलेज आना चाहिए, कॉलेज में बहुत अच्छे से हम लोगों को भक्ति शास्त्र का स्टडीज करना चाहिए और उसके बाद आगे पढ़ाना चाहिए। तो ये प्रभुजी का सपना 3 साल के बाद आज पूरा हुआ है, जिसमें हमारा पहला बैच हम लोग को डिग्री के साथ में हमें सब प्राप्त हुआ है। I want to pay sincere thanks to Suraj Prabhuji to give chance to my son. Like Prabhuji told, his Grace Anubhavanam Prabhu's son came from Odisha. तो मैं ये मेंशन करना चाहती हूँ प्रभुजी का कितना आत्मीयता है हम परिवार के साथ में, बच्चों के साथ में। जब हमने ज्वाइन किया था, he was just 5 years old. Can you please come here? Okay. तो वो 15 साल से हमारे साथ में जो उसने सीखा है, प्रभुजी का आशीर्वाद है, तो उस आशीर्वाद का इतना असर है, वो इतना स्ट्रॉन्ग है बच्चा भक्ति में कि वो कैसा भी मुश्किल है वहाँ पे उन सबसे लड़ने को तैयार है। वो केवल सीनियर वैष्णव के आशीर्वाद से ही संभव कर सकता है। और दूसरा बात उसने बताया कि माँ कुछ हो ज़्यादा नहीं कर पाऊँ तो भी 4-5 अपने फ्रेंड्स को मैं 100% डिवोटीज बना दूँगा। तो ये पावर है वैष्णवों का संग का। तो जब हमें वैष्णवों का संग और आशीर्वाद मिलता है तो हमारा जीवन बहुत ही सुचारू रूप से, सुदृढ़ रूप से आगे बढ़ता है और हमारा अपना ही नहीं, हमारे बच्चों का और साथ में हम जिसके भी संपर्क में आते हैं उन्हीं सभी का जीवन हम लोग सीधे वैष्णवों की कृपा से और भगवान की कृपा से हम लोग बदल पाते हैं। तो ऑल ग्लोरीज टू श्रील प्रभुपाद, ऑल ग्लोरीज टू गुरु महाराज। इस होलीनेस गोपाल कृष्ण स्वामी महाराज का सपना था, वो 2011 से मुझको हमेशा मोटिवेट करते थे कि तुम प्रीचिंग करो। पता नहीं उनको मुझे क्या नजर आता था, आई डोंट नो, लेकिन उनके आशीर्वाद से और प्रभु जी की कृपा से मैं जो कर पा रही हूँ उसका श्रेय सब गुरु महाराज और प्रभु जी को जाते हैं। जैसे हम जानते हैं महल सेवा द्वारा आहुर विमुक्ते, जब हम महल सेवा करते हैं, जब हम सीधे वैष्णव का शुद्ध वैष्णव की सेवा करते हैं तो हमारा मुक्ति का द्वार स्वयं अपने आप खुल जाता है। तो आई वांट टू पे अगेन sincere gratitude to all my senior Vaishnavas and Guru Maharaj and Srila Prabhupada and on the foremost Shri Radha Madhavan Bhagwan ki jai. Because of His mercy we are here. I take gratitude from my full batch. We could complete our first batch Bhakti Shastri as well as our teachers training course first TDC1 and TDC2. So thank you to all of you for giving us this opportunity. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji, for sharing your wonderful experience. And I would like to call his grace Vaishnava Guru. He wants to give a message to his teachers who have just completed for students. Message of Sri Prabhupada by Vaishnava Guru.
यद्यचाचरति श्रेष्ठः ततदेवेतरो जनः स यत्प्रमाणं कुरुते लोकस्तदनुवर्तते। यद्यचाचरति श्रेष्ठः ततदेवेतरो जनः स यत्प्रमाणं कुरुते लोकस्तदनुवर्तते। This is the message Srila Prabhupada is giving here to the all teachers. So here the purport is saying that people in general always require a leader who can teach public by practical behavior. A leader cannot teach public to stop smoking if he himself smokes. The Lord Chaitanya said that a teacher should behave properly before he begins teaching. So please hear all the teachers with a special message which I will be giving year after year to all teachers coming from Srila Prabhupada. So Lord Chaitanya said the teachers should behave properly before begins teaching. One who teaches in that way is called Acharya and the real ideal teacher. Therefore, a teacher must follow the principles of Shastra to teach common man. A teacher cannot manufacture rules against the principles of revealed scriptures. The revealed scriptures like Manu Samhita and others are considered the standard books to be followed by the human society. Thus, leaders' teaching should be based on the principles of such standards, Shastras. One who desires to improve himself must follow the standard rules as they are practiced by the great teachers. Srimad Bhagavatam also confirms that one should follow the footsteps of great devotees. That is the way to progress on the path of spiritual realization. The king or the executive head of the state, the father and the school teacher. I am repeating this. There are three people. The king, father and school teacher are considered to be natural leaders of the innocent people in general. All such natural leaders have a great responsibility to their dependents. Therefore, they must be conversant with standard books of moral and spiritual codes. Please remember that you all will be moral 100%. Please remember this. This is coming from Srila Prabhupada. Bhakti Shastra is different, teacher is different. You are not being awarded the teacher. You like to take teaching. So you should be conversant and with standard books of moral and spiritual code. So please take this very seriously. Read this third chapter, 21st sloka, again and again and again to stay as a perfect teacher and really take care of the society, because Srila Prabhupada has given through this book that you are now natural leader of the society. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Prashant Prabhu, for your this wonderful antidotes of Sri Prabhupada for our teachers. So, Ajay ji, Suraj ji, aap ready? Okay. So, I would like to invite Dr. Suraj Dubey ji for giving a presentation on the holistic Ayurvedic healing. Let's hear from Dr. Suraj Dubey.
Hare Krishna. Namaste Sarde Devi Kashmir Purvashni Swamaham Kate Devi Vidya Varanchani. On this very auspicious occasion of Convocation, I think there cannot be anything greater than the moment here to pray our worship in the lotus feet of Lord Sarswati. But the knowledge to reach the Saraswati, we need the blessings of Guru. And that's the reason I would also like to say, Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwara, Guru Sakshat Parabrahma, Tasmai Shri Guru Namaha. Today's moment it's very difficult. First of all, it's a very daunting task, to put my thoughts and emotion into the words. Especially when I'm meeting my Sakshi Jagat Guru almost after 20 years. And what could be a golden combination that you have your Guru from Sakshi Jagat, from your Adhyatmik Jagat, Adarani, His Grace Prabhu Surdas Prabhuji. So I would like all you to be a part of this thought which has been conceived in the last couple of years under the divine grace of our founder Acharya Prabhu, Srila Prabhupada, and the very sharp guidance of our President, His Grace Prabhu Surdas. So such things, when we come to such a stage, I think there has to be a blessing. And listening to all the learned audience,
सॉरी प्रभु जी को इतना भी बहुत आवाज हो रही है पीछे. प्लीज, इट्स नॉट अ मैरिज प्रोग्राम, इट्स वेरी सीरियस इवेंट इज गोइंग ऑन हियर. आप लोगों से अनुरोध है कि कृपया शांति बनाए रखें और इसे ध्यान से सुनिए. यह जो है आपके स्वास्थ्य लाभ के साथ में जो है आपके स्पिरिचुअल ग्रोथ के लिए भी काफी उपयोगी है. तो प्लीज कीप क्वाइट और शांति के साथ में आप इस प्रेजेंटेशन को देखें और समझें कि यहाँ पे वैश्विक स्तर का जो आयुर्वेदिक हीलिंग सेंटर बनने जा रहा है उसके बारे में आप थोड़ा सा समझें. हरे कृष्ण. आप जो पीछे खड़े हैं कृपया बैठ जाइए और शांति बनाए रखें. कृपया आपस में बात ना करें. प्लीज कीप द पिन ड्रॉप साइलेंस. थैंक यू.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. So I'm sure I can feel the energy with such a invigorating messages. So much, the kind of the knowledge which was flowing in us almost an hour or so. So in my, simple understanding, when we are celebrating as a country, Azadi ka Amrit Mahotsav, so we are really truly doing the Amrit Varsha, from our learning gurus. A brief about me, I think that gives a good pitch for me to start what I'm going to do in, this Prabhuji, I would request 15-20 minutes for my presentation because this is very important. This has to be a very active participation, especially when we are coming out of this COVID. So, I've been part of this healthcare, hospitality industry. I passed out in year 2000 from Mumbai University. My Adharani Guru, Guruji is here, and it was so emotional moment for me to see him. And so what happens when there is a master planning. Everything happens, in the short notice, but something magical is taking place. So after passing out, I spent almost 10 years in foreign countries. I was in England, I was in Europe, I was in the Middle East. Almost, I covered one circle of the world. I started from the Himalayas in India, Rishikesh, and I went all the way up to the lowest point on earth, which is called Dead Sea. So मेरे लिए एक यात्रा पूरी हो चुकी है हिमालय से लेके आप पृथ्वी के सबसे निचले स्तर तक आप काम करके आए हो. And I've been part of this corporate world. Some of the Fortune 500 companies, those who feel that despite having this 21st century development, what is really that one thing is important? And probably that was the reason why I was, taken in the private jet, trust me. So such things which was again beyond my imagination. So it all happens because I represent a culture, a science, which comes from Veda. Today we are going to talk about the Ayurveda, which is subsidiary of Atharva Veda. And what, even the presentation is dancing, I can see the energy. So I'm sure it will settle. So in this 20 years of life, what I have seen, the world is full of datas. What we, in today's time, it's become a very important word. Any industry, we need to have the datas. And somehow we are confused that is the data the knowledge? So we are surrounded by datas. And when we process the data, what we come to a conclusion is called information. From data, we derive the information. From information, we further process it. And we try to make it a crux of knowledge. So data, information, knowledge. But what we have been witnessing this in last an hour is far beyond the knowledge. This is something called wisdom. And wisdom is always universal. So in my experience, what I say is, this is the time when the world is looking to us, to India, to our culture, to tradition, to heritages. And the COVID has literally brought the 21st century human species to a standstill. I was part of the corporate in 2019 when COVID hit, and I was supposed to write an article. And I was supposed to, put together a thought, how much this kind of, the pandemic is really going to impact the humankind. And I did a bit of research and I was very surprised to see that in COVID, only the human, they were under stress. The rest of the species, they were thriving. I'm sure you must have seen, you must have read, there were the dolphins, they reappeared. The skies were clear. The air got clear. The pollution got to a minimal level. So in one way, this two and a half year, the nature or the Mother Earth started healing. So even if you rattle about COVID has made topsy-turvy the human life, but the nature has got its own way to align ourselves. And that's what we as the highest creature on this planet, as our Veda says, we need to really understand what is our duties and responsibilities. I always believe human is the miniature of nature. We must learn to live in harmony. And that's what is the basic message if you want to really face any sort of such pandemic, what are the different kind of things. Rather than for the external inspiration, we have to be internal strong, the internal strength or immunity. I'm sure these are the couple of words which we all by now are well informed. So our concept of Bhakti Vedanta Ayurveda Healing Center is inspired from this, where we are not just going to talk about the human body, but we are going to focus on the human being. There is a huge lot of difference. Otherwise, we keep on focusing, okay, this is my existence, this particular or existence of, the physical form. But we have to really go above it. And that's what, in true sense, is the holistic approach. I was so amazed to hear from our respected Surdas Prabhuji. He is magical in his words. From Hollywood, he created a Hollywood. This is so kind of, this is the part of the word, the part of the imagination. So Prabhuji, I think we are looking into something which is, in true sense, is going to redefine. When I was being assigned, I was chosen as Prabhuji rightly said, that we want to make it international. I said, Prabhuji, whatever we will make, the international will follow. Not that we follow the international. And that's where the inspiration comes from, the International Society of Krishna Consciousness. I'm still a toddler in this Augustine audience. But I'm very sort of blessed to come across. The whole journey I was in conference in Moscow. And after conference, of course, we are from Brahmin families, we are suffering, so we are struggling to find out some sattvic food. So somehow it happened like, there's no Google, there's some different kind of research engine is there. So by the time I was picking, it was a restaurant which was by the ISKCON. So that was my very first interaction to the ISKCON. And since then, I feel from global nomad, I have become the resident of Kargar in the lotus feet of Prabhuji. I think that really defines who am I and what I'm supposed to do. So coming back to this particular experience, again it's the divine grace of our Honoracharya and the sharp guidance of our Prabhuji. We really want to make it for our members, for our devotees, for the society and the community by large. We are going to call it as Bhakti Vedanta Ayurveda Healing Center, which is again going to be based on the Ayurveda, Yoga and the integrative wellness, which I'll try to cover in a very shorter span of time. May I request for the next slide? I think Prabhuji, I need to come down so that I can see what I'm talking about. As we say, the wellness is the new gold standard. I'm sure I'm speaking English, so we have to understand what the Westerners, how they really define. So wellness is nothing, it's an old medicine in a new bottle. For us, there are some data which I try to gather and from our lovely teachers and gurus, the industry, stalwarts. It's especially health and well-being represent the highest universal human desire. Irrespective from what walks of, from which background we are, everybody wants to be healthy and happy. In 21st century, the way how we are doing the globalization, the kind of, the socio-economic stresses, urbanization, disconnect from the nature. 90% of the time we are indoor. Have you ever realized this? 90% of the whole time we are in indoor, and that leads to a heavy, huge percentage of what we call as NCDs, non-communicable diseases, which could have been prevented. And as per the WHO data, they say 2/3 of the global mortality, in simple terms, 2/3 of the death globally is all because of the preventable lifestyle diseases, or which could have been prevented. And it has a very huge economic burden, especially in a country like India, the kind of population, the kind of the lifestyle and access, it has a very huge impact on the economy. So the preface to having such kind of institution is why we need to go this path. Is it just another weight loss? We are not going to talk about any losses. We are just going to talk about only gains. Alright? So, as I said, modern lifestyle disorders need the antidote of wellness living, which is going to be our objective. May I request for the next slide, Prabhuji? Next slide. I felt like, putting this, the ever words which is coming from our Ayurvedic Sanhitas, which defines health in totality. And as we heard, this is far before the modern world. We talk about health as a samdosha, samadhisha, samdhatu, malapriya, prashanna, atmendriyamana, swasth, it abhidhi. So the swasth is not just your six packs or the muscular flexibility. It is far beyond that. And I have seen personally. In fact, I'm more popular, as Prabhuji was saying. I've got more fan following in the Western worlds. There I see the people, from the Bollywood, one of my title was 8 Muslim, the titling stuff. The external, I'm just using the name, for us to be inspired and know what we really carry. So for us, the health is far beyond the physical presence. So this has been given 6,000 years or maybe before that. And our WHO, World Health Organization, which has become WHO, what is WHO? Everybody's talking about words cannot. So they keep on struggling, changing the definition of health. So it's again, they are trying to align what we have spoken thousand years back. And again, wellness is something which is the time when we are talking in the 21st century, it's an active participation. We cannot be healthy if we are not actively engaged in our choices, in our lifestyles, in our activities. So that's where what we are going to achieve in this particular holistic setup, we are going to talk about what our Vedas and Sarswati says. Next slide, please. This is very interesting incident which it's very validated. I've done a research. In 2016, Nobel Prize for Medicine was given to one of the Japanese scientists. And you know what? For what he has been awarded the Nobel Prize? Because he came up with a concept called, or he did a research on something called autophagy. Autophagy, very technical medical word. Auto means self-flatulence, like eating, self-eat. Which basically he did research on saying that if you fast, or in other words, if you starve, your body has a capacity to eat all the unwanted dead cells. So, which means in simple terms, the way how we do the fasting, whether it's on Ekadasi or whether it's on our religious practice, they are so vital for us to self-heal. So he has been awarded Nobel Prize for that, which in our scripture has been mentioned since the time, we aware. So I always say, these scriptures are the manuals for the human life. They are not just, if you buy an iPhone, we go through it in and out of that book. But how often we have referred any manual for our behavior, our activities, what to expect, what not to expect. So, again, how the westernization or some of the modern approaches to commercialization has really broken the very fundamental. In 1937, a very world-renowned group is coming to India. I don't want to take the name of the company, but they came to India and they say, hey, you guys are using the salt and charcoal to clean your teeth. So they literally mock, did a mockery. उन्होंने एक तरह से मजाक उड़ाया कि आप ये क्या करो, आप हमारा कोलगेट, हमारा टूथपेस्ट यूज कीजिए। एंड 2015 में वही कंपनी आ रही है फिर से एक बार और कह रही कि हमारे टूथपेस्ट में नमक है। Use that, which is so important. So it took almost 80 years for them to understand our traditional practice, which is full of wisdom. And that's what is the power, that's what is the thing which we need to discover when we are connecting, when we are going back to our roots. I could not think of a better, particular slide. I'm sure you must remember, this is not a very old picture. Last year, the lady in the picture, 105 years old, Papa Mal from Coimbatore, she was given the Padma Shri. And when people they interviewed, what is the secret of your longevity and imperial life? She said, I ate only what I grew. When you wake higher to many of Gaia. And then she went on to mention that how she's connected in her lifestyle, in her living. Every morning she wakes up at 4 o'clock, rising before the sunrise, which is of course a practice of our ISKCON. How scientific we are. So I think she's not using any anti-aging products, which is again full in the commercial world. So I think this really does not give us any sort of second thought to get confused with whether it's clinically approved. In our world, we have been again, whether it has got evidence, whether it's not clinically approved. There are certain things which are very universal, and that's what we really need to connect the dots. So I think this gives us a very, very strong power and energy to think that what we really need to bring in this vicinity. So based on this preface, our ISKCON, we are trying to conceptualize the model of holistic well-being. And that is integrating the fundamental of Vedic wisdom, traditional healing practices, and modern wellness science. So there could not be any better place and better time than this to really come together and make this monument which becomes a landmark in the field of the holistic health and living. Our mission, we really want to align what we call as the 4 pillars: Ahar, Vihar, Vichar, or Vikar. Our entire existence all around this thing. If you are able to focus on this in a very sequential manner, and this is again a very proven way. If you're very much conscious about what we eat, what we do, Vihar is your activity, whether it's not just a physical activity, but in terms of your sleep, in terms of your other interaction with your nature, with your surrounding, with your thoughts. And then of course, if there is any sort of imbalances in your body, energies, or tissues, then we come across what we call elements. So our mission is to align the 4 pillars of being. We really want to have a setup where we want to say that it's a healthy body, happy mind, and conscious living. So wellness would become a way of life for us all, the holistic wellness, the holistic well-being. And when we are going to put together an ritual, which I'm just trying to cover very briefly, when we say a day starts and ends, or the continues with all the wellness and healing rituals, some of the reference images and setup that we are going to come up with in our wellness center, it's going to be again, which is very much in merge with the sustainability. We are going to focus a lot more on the planet positiveness, and the setup is again going to be very, very immersive. So this is some of the reference images that we are doing, which would be a welcoming reception, is a grand welcome reception. We are going to have the spaces, dedicated spaces, where you can come before or after your procedures or the therapies or the treatment. We are going to have dedicated lounges. We will be focusing a lot more on education. We will be doing a lot more workshops for you to understand what you need to expect from yourself. Your body is not like a machine or not like a car which you keep on, using until the time it breaks down. So there's a lot of knowledge sharing that will be taking place. We'll be focusing on the different kind of the practices. So we'll be having resident physicians, visiting practitioners, some of the experts from the different fraternities will be part of the entire scheme of our offerings in the one-to-one consultations. Then we are focusing on our Ayurveda. So a lot of the therapies which is originated from the Ayurvedic scripture, the Panchakarma, and also we are going to focus, as we say, the integrative wellness. So we are going to take the best of the bunch because we have to show to the international world what is in true sense is called bringing the best of the both worlds. Some of these setups which again is very, very thoughtful in terms of keeping heat therapies where we are bringing the steam and sauna. and the other experientials, hydrotherapy experiences that will be part of our setup, which I'm sure if you visit some of the international, very high-end wellness destinations, you'll be able to see. We are going to focus a lot more on the ahar, which is nutrition parts, very sattvic food, which will be based on your prakriti. We all have got our unique body constitution. So we will be having a very dedicated setup. Plus also there will be a different kind of products, which...
And the name will be Healthy, Wealthy and Wise.
Absolutely, Prabhuji. Healthy, wealthy and wise. Yeah, so there comes a signature. Prabhuji keep guiding, and that's where we're going to reach us. And we want to again create those ranges where you just don't experience, you engage and create the same environment where you live. So that's another thing which we want to continue in terms of for all our members and the guests. This is something which I want to take 2 minutes to tell you, one of the projects which I'm doing in Spain. And it's again in the island. I'm sure we all are hooked to our the adult toy, which is our mobile phone. How many of you have really gone through that paper? It says it's not very far. It's just in 3 decades, 70% of the population will be myopic, short-sighted, just because we are so attuned to this first screen. And this reminds us, our olden golden days where we have time to look up the stars, build a story, whether through our grandfathers or nananis. So I think one of the things what we are doing in the project, we are just doing something called stargazing. Stargazing is not just a recreational; it's so therapeutic. In my experience, whenever you are stressed, just look at, are you incubate? Are you inside? That's the first thing. The moment you feel you're stressed because you're inside, whether you're in an office or in your home, just get out. Just go out and look at the stars or skies. And you will feel how your mind becomes clear. Those stressful thoughts are like clouds. So stargazing or sky gazing itself is so healing. And such practices we want to really bring into our setup. So for this, again, as I said, this has all been a part and parcel of our Vedic theory. And
over there you have to tell them that you have to go back into the time to look at Dhruv Maharaj, Dhruv Tara.
Absolutely, Prabhuji. I think, wherever there is a story, it makes the whole experience different. So we will be, threading this together so that it becomes again intrusive in the holistic. We'll be having and focusing, in our wellness studios, a lot more on the functional fitness. Functional fitness, like, if this is a new word, new buzzword. People are afraid about the treadmills, cross trainers, all the stuff. So now they feel, okay, let's do some fitness which is focused on the functions. In simple terms, calm karo, exercise karo, routine work karo. You don't have to go all the way and get, those caught up in the modern confusion. So immersive wellness, we are going to have the sunrise yoga, as I said, the power of getting early in the morning. And when we live in a country like India, which has got so much clearly defined season, I'm sure if you think of England, it's a big fish mark of those countries, European countries. So when we are blessed with this, we really want to bring this knowledge to all of us, which we have somewhere forgotten. So immersive wellness, outdoor healing experiences, which includes things like sunrise yoga, early in the morning, reflex pathways, which again, something called in the modern world is talking about Prabhuji, barefoot luxury. Barefoot luxury. So they have really done with all their, the stuff. Now they are coming to the barefooting or the grounding exercises. So we are going to focus on various kind of programs which could be a residential, some of it's going to be a long-staying programs which will talk about all those basic things which are more important to us, which we struggle. Because if you go to the modern world, modern doctor, modern medicine, what they treat you, they treat the record, they do not really look at you in your talent. So, I think with this particular things, I feel it's a moment of celebration for us. This is our actual site where we are going to, we have shown what is the kind of, our structure is going to look like, and we are in full swing. by the blessing of our acharyas and all our dignitaries who are really making us feel confident that yeah, this is something what is needed in the today's time. So with these few words, I just want to put viram to my presentation, and let's be a part of this whole journey. It's health or well-being is like a journey, as we always say. It's not a one-shot experience. So Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Bhakti.
This is Suraj Dubey, Dr. Suraj Dubey, thoughtfully prepared everything, and by the blessings of Srila Prabhupada and Krishna, I'm sure very soon, within 6 months, you will see this wellness center getting ready. And those of you who want to be part of it, they can be, there's a regular program for this, which you will be unveiling in future. That's how a poorest person can take the benefit of this high-end Ayurvedic healthy center, because as our slogan is there, Vasudeva Kutumbaka, we want to see that one hand gives and the other hand takes, and this process continues in this Vasudeva Kutumbaka process, and so that we can always see that people are benefited whatever we are trying to present for them. So thank you, Suraj Prabhu, and Prabhupada bless you, and Krishna bless you all the time. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Bhakti. Thank you, Dr. Suraj Dubey. I would like to call His Grace Vaishnavamri Prabhu. We'll just take 5 more minutes. Please be with us to just share the New Year plan of our Bhakti Vedanta Vedic Education College. Over to you, Vaishnavamri Prabhu.
Yeah, thank you very much. Of course, it is too much stretching. I will ensure that next 3-4 minutes I will close. This college means discipline. There is no doubt about it. We ensure that. Just to continue the talk by our doctor, Bhakti College also has a program which is called Shataman Bhavati. Anybody wants to live 100 years, we have a program. We have a process to tell you how to live for 100 years based on Gita. So the program has been designed, is called Shataman Bhavati. The only place where we can be giving you that how to live for 100 years. So it's going to be a hand-in-glove program. We have a college as well as we have a healing center. Now, just quickly, I would like to just mention the program which are going to come up in the next 4 minutes time. So I'd like to mention the college is going to run on the process of different, go ahead to the different boards. No, first, go next. Okay. This is okay, go back. So this is our college logo, which I would like to bring to your notice that there are 2 spans in this, and there are 2 papers. So the 2 spans are, one is teacher, is also a swan, and the student is also a swan. We are able to differentiate between the milk and water. So then we brought at that level, and in between the supreme teacher, that is the Chaitya Guru, which is in our heart. So with the help of the Chaitya Guru, who is in armor, then we have the Bhakti Lata for the teacher as well as the student. So both will be progressing simultaneously, and they will be reaching to the platform of the Hamsa. And everything is based on Veda, that is basic knowledge, and reaching to the summary that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So this is the logo of the exhibition. Next. Yeah, these are the different boards we have conceived. The Shastri Studies Board, Bhagavad Gita Studies Board, Vaishnava Education Board, Corporate Cultural Education Board, Sanskrit Studies Board. Go back. Vedic Shloka Recitation Board, Housewife Vedic Education Board, Senior Citizen Vedic Education Boards are the different boards which cover the entire society at large. Next board. So Shastri Study Board, we have discussed the Bhakti Shastri and other the things will be done in that. And Vaishnava Education Board is essentially for the beginners who are going to come into the Krishna consciousness. Next. Bhagavad Gita Study Board is very large one. It will be covering the entire society from the child to the any person, and also will be exploring the academic and research collaboration institutions from higher education from India and abroad. It's going to be our next one. Next. Corporate also we have the plans, and for senior citizens also we have Vedic Education Board. For the housewives also, how sitting at home will be able to teach them. That's the idea, because all people cannot come here, so we have a program that how by sitting at home they can really get educated basically. And we have Vedic Shloka recitation that every person who comes to the college or the temple, they should be able to recite at least one Shloka from Gita. That is our. And next year, this is already discussed. These are courses coming, and the summary is that by March first week the website will be up, so all the courses will be displayed and people will be able to enroll, and from April onwards our college will be full swing. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for coming for this and waiting with all patience, because definitely now we have got a great message, great happy news to all of you. Put on lights, yes.
Let's have one complete picture of all our guests.
Thank you very much.
Picture of the students. Fast. Ayub, please.
All students, please come.
Ayub.
All students, please come fast.
Now all the students will come here, will walk.
हरे कृष्ण। सभी भक्ति शास्त्र के स्टूडेंट्स और जो टीचर्स ट्रेनिंग कोर्स जिन्होंने कंप्लीट किया है, सब लोग आगे आ जाए इस फोटोग्राफी सेशन के लिए।
Just very covering your face.
बैठ सकते हैं? थोड़ा बैठ जाओ।
Back side, sir. Back side. Should there.
सब लोग बोलिए हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। बहुत ही सुनहरा अवसर आज इस वसंत पंचमी के अवसर पर सभी भक्ति शास्त्र के स्टूडेंट्स और टीचर्स, ट्रेनिंग कोर्स टीचर्स भी सारे इस मेमोरेबल फोटोग्राफी के द्वारा thank you. Yes, I would like to thank Mr. Nayaji for being here and all the media people who are here. And it's probably just 1 minute I would like to call Mr. Prakash Khandelwal, who is the head of NGM College, is here. Mr. Prakash Khandelwal, we would like to welcome him.
कृपया आप आइए मंच पे आ जाइए। Take the blessings from His Blessed Holy Spirit.